Hey everyone, super thrilled to be here. I am absolutely loving the folks that are stopping by the show, and today is no different. I know we're going to have an amazing conversation. So, everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome to Go Be Great with Coach Karena. I am your host, I am your life and business strategist. For you introverts who are just like me, I love you. That's all I can say. I love you all. So today we have on the show the amazing Jenn Fredericks. Jenn, how are you doing today?
I am doing really well. I'm ready to celebrate. It's my 22nd wedding anniversary today. So, just like you had mentioned, love is just all around.
I love it. Happy anniversary to you all.
Thank you.
So I would love to know, where in the world are you?
I am in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I've never been to Wisconsin. So I love to ask people where they are, where in the world they are, because I want to live vicariously through you all until I get to those places. So I've got to add Wisconsin to my list. You know what? I'm gonna create a list and put up here. Maybe I'll put it over here of the different folks. Maybe I'll put a map and then put a pin.
You should.
I
Yeah,
should.
you
A really
should.
nice, cute, girly map with
hmm
some girly pins. You've got a great idea there, Jenn. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, you'll come to Wisconsin and we'll go to the lakefront and we'll stroll along Lake Michigan, have the breeze hit us. It'll be
Can we
nice.
eat seafood?
We can.
Ah,
We can. I
I'm
mean,
there.
probably it would be better to have like lake fish than seafood. But yeah, we have some wonderful restaurants here in
Oh my,
Milwaukee, really some up and coming restaurants. I would probably take you to Harbor House.
oh my goodness. Anything that says harbor in it is good. I don't care what state you go to. Anything that says
Mhm.
harbor in it is so absolutely phenomenal.
But
I
if you
love it.
really, really want to experience like a Wisconsin tradition, I would most likely just have my husband prepare you a fish fry on a Friday.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
honey.
hmm
I'm there. I am there. And you all have cheese. You're known for cheese, right?
Oh my gosh, what kind?
So
Yes,
I'm a cheese head. If it's cheese, I'm gonna eat it.
then you belong here.
I mean, my husband, let me tell you, so it's just the two of us in the house. All of the kids are gone. So we get the blocks of cheese, just
Uh-huh.
really telling on myself. Let me talk low. We get the blocks of cheese, and sometimes, like, if one of us are cooking, we're in the kitchen cooking and the cheese is there, he literally has to guard it because he knows I will take it and take a big bite out of it and then put it back. Again, if we're fixing food for someone else, I'm not gonna,
Right.
but for the two of us, honey, it's nothing for him to go in there and find a big chunk bitten out of that block of cheese just because I love cheese that much.
Well, then I would have to take you to the Mars Cheese Castle. That's probably 30 minutes from us.
Did you say cheese castle?
Yeah, it's a store of cheese. I've never been in it, but I've driven past it quite a bit, and it is looks like a castle, and it has cheese inside of it.
You are my new BFF, just so that you know. Just so that you know this. I just really want you to be aware of this. You're not my new BFF.
I have it. I'm holding it right here.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. So listen, I want to get into how you're loving on the world around you because I see what you have on the screen, and I am absolutely curious about that. So tell us, how are you loving on the world around you?
Well, as just a human,
Yes,
I
yes,
connect. I,
yes.
I connect every day into my core and my inner truth and who I know myself to be, and having that self awareness of what's most important to me, and that is love, connection, and energy. And so I try to take that everywhere with me.
Yeah. And I really believe you're onto something because if more of us do that,
Mm,
then more of us would see goodness
mm.
around us. because you really have what you say and you have what you put out. So I love that you're doing that.
Thank you.
So what took you, or how can I say this? What brought you to that point? Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like a lot of times people, they have to become aware of certain things. So
Mhm.
how did you get there?
Well, you're like spot on. The first step is always awareness, right?
Yeah.
Some personal and professional huge life disruptions took me to a place where I was like, I can't do life this way anymore. And so I reached out to a former colleague who had made a transition into coaching. I don't know why I was drawn to her and that in that moment, but I ended up in a life coach certification 3 months later for my career. But it really was for me. And so being able to take that time and really be observant and take time to go back into myself and get to know myself is the way that I came to love connection and my knowing that everything is energy and the importance of being aware of that.
Yeah. And it's funny how we can think or assume that something is for one reason or will go one way, but will absolutely turn another. And it's really for our good and for the call that we have, for the mandate that's on our life, because we have a place in the world. And, we're not an island unto ourselves. So there's something that we've got to put out.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that is so amazing.
it has led me to it's allowed me to take my pain and my passion and make it my purpose and be able
Mm,
to serve others from here on out.
yeah. Yeah. So tell us about that. How are you doing that? How are you serving other folks?
Sure. Well, I'm a personal resilience practitioner and a prosilience coach. And prosilience stands for proactive plus resilience equals prosilience. And my hope there is that while we can help people come up to their benchmark of resilience of where they want to be, then we can start planning for how to meet future challenges before they come our way so that we don't fall down and have to pull ourselves back up.
You just said a mouthful, Jen.
I
I
did.
mean, honestly, if every coach, consultant, strategist, whomever understood that concept, because it is the hardest thing to have someone say, this is the goal that I have for my life, but then they have all of this yucky stuff in the way.
Mhm.
And so trying to get them to their goal, help get them to their goal, but having to fight through the yucky stuff can really feel defeating and deflating. So let's talk about that. Let's
Sure.
talk about that.
Yeah, well, so one of the building blocks of the Prosilience framework is learning to manage your personal energy. And so when you started talking about supporting people with the yuck, that's immediately what came to mind. Like that's where I would start with someone. And my focus really is with caregivers and patients. That's my focus and passion. And this can help everyone. So, if we were looking at how to support people to get through the yucky stuff while they prepare themselves for what they really want in life, we would talk about managing their personal energy. And there are four human energies that I focus on: physical, which is using the body to get things done; mental, which is thinking clearly and quickly; emotional is working with the yucky stuff, working with the difficult feelings. And then the last is that spiritual piece, the being able to connect to something outside of yourself, a higher sense of meaning and purpose. And that's where I would start, because when we can effectively work with our emotional energy, we don't drain ourselves. We don't get in those thought spirals or those emotional spirals that take us down and keep us away from really experiencing how we want to experience life. Now, I'm not a person who's going to help you emotionally bypass. If you're feeling yucky stuff, we're going to be with it. We're going to recognize it. We're going to quote unquote make friends with it so that it doesn't keep us stuck. And then we're also going to look at how can we bring some more life-giving emotions into our experience. And so that's really where I would start with people before we look at how can we prepare more for the future.
I absolutely love that. And it just brings me to a thought. My husband and I had a conversation just before coming on here, and just being a little transparent. There's a
Mhm.
family situation going on,
Mhm.
and I was telling him this morning. I said, I started to have those conversations that have not started yet in my head.
Yeah.
And I try to be very aware of, like you said, those emotions and things like that. And I want to talk about this because I want people to really connect with what you're saying,
Mhm.
because I think it can help. And so I was having this one-sided conversation up here, and when I caught myself, I said, okay, go ahead and have it. Let's keep going through it,
Mhm.
but recognize that it's your perception of what someone else may say.
Mhm.
So now that you've had that conversation, know that it's not the truth.
Mhm.
The conversation has not been had.
Right.
And so going through that, it really helped free me. But instead of trying to push it down and
Mhm.
saying, no, 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 don't do that, it was more of, okay, let's process through it and then understand that it's not real.
Right. Not
And I,
holding on so tightly to a particular outcome from
yes,
whatever this conversation ends up being.
yes. And
Mhm.
and it was so incredibly freeing for me, because I typically don't have those types of conversations, but this is just a situation that's really, close to home for me. But, I want folks to understand that when we keep having these conversations like this, it can hinder us. It can hinder us
Mhm.
drastically.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about, um, when you are working with someone and they're feeling these emotional yucks.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because, and I want to term it that just for the sake of this show, this episode, because I want folks to really understand that it's normal, it's commonplace. People have them. It's just how you process through them. And
Mhm.
it's not really being that. So, talk about how you are helping people to process through this emotional yuck, because I see it a lot. I see it a lot in so many different areas in life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you can even see it at the grocery store if you really observe other
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
Well, the emotional yucks are normal. When a client is in the emotional yucks, I usually say, how human of you. And again, let's look at them. Let's hold them and, and you in a safe space as we really explore that. Let's name that emotional yuck. Let's ask it what it's trying to tell us. Emotions are simply messengers. They're letting us know something. And if we don't spend time with them, we're not going to be able to strategize how to meet them and move forward. So, like, we never want to bypass, we never want to push it down. If you do, it's okay. That's normal. How human of you. However, let's take a look at what the emotion is. What is it trying to tell you? What does it really boil down to? Is it fear? If it's fear, let's make friends with that fear. Let's make friends with that fear. Thank it for letting us know that we care so much about something that we're fearful. And then let's see how you really want to meet that. Do you want to stay in the emotional yuck, or do you want to acknowledge it, have awareness of it, thank it, and then find something that is more self serving?
I love, number one, your voice is very calming.
Oh, thank you.
It's very welcoming. And I love that you are allowing people to know that they can sit with these feelings
Mm-hmm.
because we have been taught for so long, and I think about when my daughter was a little kid, I apologize to her, not all the time, but when things come up and I'm like, whoa, Karena, that wasn't, you did your best,
Mm-hmm.
what you knew, but let's go ahead and bring it to the forefront now. She's very aware of this, and we have these conversations.
Yeah.
And I apologize. And so I remember raising her, in the late 90s, saying, get up. If you fall
Mm-hmm.
down, get up, wipe your knee off. Don't cry. You don't need to let them see you cry. Just keep going, tough it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was teaching her unknowingly to push those emotions down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, unfortunately, I believe that lots of us have been raised like that, especially us Gen X.
Yes. Yes.
Gen Xers, we were, you better not cry. You better not,
Uh-uh.
oh my goodness. And
Oh,
then we were latchkey kids, so we didn't have the opportunity to have somebody to help us through an emotional situation, you
right.
know? So, oh my goodness. So when
Can
it
I
comes,
just can I just
yeah,
say
yeah,
I want to acknowledge you for sharing that and just making it so real and normal, because I think we all can relate to that. And then as our, dear Maya Angelou says, when we know better, we do better.
yeah,
And that's exactly what you're doing. And to, all the listeners out there, like, be gentle with yourself. When you
yeah,
know better, you do better, and do it in a way that isn't, bringing you down, because
yes.
shine your light now in a different way since you know differently.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that these are the ways. Listen, y'all need to connect with Jen, because Jen is like, she's all up in my heart right now. I can feel it. Oh my goodness, she's all up in my heart. And I can tell you that, even with just you even saying that brought a release for me, you
Beautiful.
know? And so I think people really need to understand that you can be understood. You can
Yes.
be, and so I want you all to really consider getting in touch with Jen.
Mhm.
And I tell you all, I don't do pre-show interviews. My team reviews the applications. I don't know who's going to be on the show until the day of. I look at my calendar.
Surprise!
Yes, I look at my calendar and okay, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I don't know their titles. I don't know their role in the world. I don't know anything. But I do know that, oh my goodness, I know it's going to be amazing,
Mhm.
because as soon as we get on, before we start recording, I can feel it.
Mhm.
And so I could feel that.
Oh,
And
thank
so
you.
if you can feel that just in a conversation, now 20-minute conversation, imagine sitting across from her, being in a situation and knowing that you have this support and you can have really what you want, what you deserve in life, which is freedom.
Yes. It's truly my favorite place to be.
Yeah,
Sitting across from someone and holding
yeah,
that space for them
yeah,
to be seen, heard, and understood.
yeah. So tell us two things.
Mhm.
What does it look like when we get in contact with you, and then how can we get in contact with you?
Sure. Well, one is, let's just get to know each other so we can assess, like, what you need to not wait until things are better to live better. Just have a chat. I'm not going to sell you on anything. Like, honestly, being in conversation and connection is my favorite place to be. If we decide that, yes, I could support you, and you would like to experience life differently, then we can talk about what ways we could work together. But first, let's just get to know each other. And you can get to know me on Instagram or Facebook and LinkedIn and even my website. So that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me, is just to go to prosiliencecoach.com and set up a chat. Let's just sit across from each other and just experience each other's energy. And if you're not quite ready for that, I totally get it. And that's why I invite you to connect with me on any of the social media platforms that you like to interact with. And let's just get to know each other that way first.
Absolutely. And so one thing I always think about when people come to the show is people like to sell themselves and their products and services and things like that. But I love that even unknowingly, you held space for me, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
that's so key. So for those that are listening, this is your girl. This is your person. This is your lady. This is who you need to reach out to.
You're bringing tears to my eyes,
I'm
Karina.
sorry.
And no,
I'm
in
not
a good
sorry.
way.
I'm
And
not sorry. I'm not
no,
sorry.
I'm
It's
also thank
yeah.
you for
Yeah.
seeing me and sharing my energy with your listeners.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We need you and what you're doing because this is what's going to help heal people. And I see you have behind you, I'm assuming that says humankind.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we need you to help heal humankind.
It's
And
my greatest pleasure and
yeah,
privilege to do that.
and you're doing an amazing job. Again, I know nothing about you. My team does, but I know nothing about you. And I
Uh,
can tell you that I know without a shadow of a doubt you're doing amazing. You're doing an amazing work. And
Thank
just in this short amount of time, you all have been able to experience that. You've been right here, right along on this ride, just in these few short minutes to experience this. So, if you have any doubts, re listen to this episode, and then reach out to Jenn. Jenn, tell us one more time how to reach out to you, and then give us any last words of wisdom.
Sure. Thank you. Just hop on my website, prosilienccoach.com. That's PROSILIENCE coach.com. And my last tip is this isn't a dress rehearsal. So don't wait until things are better to live better.
Listen, oh my goodness, such goodness. So, folks, this has been another amazing episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena, and I am super thrilled about future connections with Jenn, and I really hope that you all connect with her. Don't delay. Don't delay. And you can see she's not coming harsh, you know.
No,
There's
not my
nothing harsh.
style.
Yeah, you can sense it. So, folks, I will see you all on the flip side. Bye for now.